cult of perceptionality. Bifurcation of the species along the lines of those who think and those who simply react. That is what has happened. In truth, this difference was always apparent, but has become far more pronounced in recent years. It is the huskification of society that aptly title the NPC behaviour. What is causing this? A deep and complex spiritual rot at the heart of the civilization. And this always existed within particular members within the society, but the proliferation and even popularisation of it have been induced by those who seek a new paradigm shift, in not just the structures of control, but in life as we know it. The popular pin-up philosopher on this, the one who is used to socially prime the public on this new sought paradigm, Yuval Noah Harari, speaks candidly on maintaining and carrying on this spiritual rot, this apathy, as a means of passive distraction for the domestic populations, while this new system of, quote-quote, dataism, or the Great Reset, comes into being. In short, everything from education to media not only promotes stupidity and debasement of oneself, but actively rewards it. It would seem, in truth, that the demons are thus sent here to test the elect, that the works of the devil are within the plans of God, for in darkness, all that is light shall shine bright like a lantern in troubled sea. For we have seen that they eventually relent with their restrictions because, truly, it is but a test of pressure to see if we shall break before the end or become like diamonds, a separation of the wheat from the chaff. An equally curious modern phenomenon is the seemingly counterintuitive pattern of woke ideology, for lack of a better term, being given free rein to bastardised established franchises and to alienate fans in some perplexing anti-commercial crusade. We see it within the reboot of Saints Row, the likewise reboot of Star Wars, the now cancelled Resident Evil series on Netflix, and the criminally sacrilegious Rings of Power on Prime Video. All of these are slammed by the fanbase, yet are suspiciously championed by the critics within their rather standardised reviews. But to what reason is this anti-commercial corporate practice pursued so zealously by these studios? Why buy a beloved franchise for an astronomical sum of capital and then actively run it into the ground, taking decisions that are bound to offend fans and thus ensure net negative profit? Well, it is entirely about engendering a slow osmosis within society via parasitically hijacking these established franchises and steering them for the sake of a larger political meta-narrative. Most of these companies are owned and operated by larger corporate conglomerates, which are, in turn, monopolistically controlled by the apex of the socio-economic holarchy. This apex are the primary owners of the levers of credit. They produce the credit and de facto control the institutions that do so, and thus they have, by default, infinite resources at their disposal to steer society in any which way they wish. They can not only absorb a hit, they can indeed absorb all hits, until the said society crumbles or they lose their control over the levers of credit. For this reason alone is why we see the state, who is also controlled by this apex, criminalise or deride discontent and criticism against the prevailing state-enforced ideology, that which we call woke. But it is merely the ideology of divide and conquer, taken to its extreme. The sinister agenda seems to be contained within Harari's work, though Schwab and previous generation cyberneticists were discussing similar ideas, and Harari terms the new theology we are building as dataism. In truth, they wish for the total abolishment of Homo sapiens and organic life as we know it, to be replaced by the Homo Deus, or the inorganic and digital attainment of, quote-quote, divinity. The bio-digital control of the reins of creation and destruction. Once Homo sapiens have achieved this, then, the useless class, according to Harari, will thence be abolished as they have served their function. This intellectual is absolutely adored by the World Economic Forum and current ruling class. Some even extol him as a modern prophet of this new theology. However, how does this tie in with woke ideology and video games? Well, in truth, the reason for the divide and conquer politics is to maintain division within society and to create fissures through which more division can then seep out onto the social fabric. If society is atomized and diametrically opposed, with each and every line exploited for its subsequent divisiveness, then society will become not only apathetic, but entirely bewitched, with an ingrained and immovable hatred for the other, whatever that other may be. As long as this situation persists until the plan comes to full fruition, and that is soon, then it will ensure the ruling class is left largely unabated and are without resistance to their plans. It further causes demoralization and apathy within the target population, but that is a secondary benefit to them. It is a military tactic utilised by corporations against the public, in short.